You're looking at the Citroen e-Berlingo, and actually the E is a bit superfluous now because you can't get the Berlingo in Ireland in any other flavour. It's electric only. The electric part of the equation, it's a familiar powertrain from the Stellantis group, which owns Citroen. So there's a 50 kilowatt hour battery, a 100 kilowatt electric motor, which is 136 horsepower. And officially this car does 280 kilometres on a full charge. There is only one electric powertrain option for the moment, and actually there's not much choice in the range at all. It's a single trim level as well. It's called the Field Pack. It's got everything you need. We'll detail that a bit more when I sit inside. You can choose between two different lengths actually, so you're looking at the long wheelbase model here. There's also a medium wheelbase model. 5 seats are standard, and in Ireland, if you pay €1,000 more, you can expand to the 7-seat version. One of the reasons you go for this car is its interior space, and it's a huge vehicle on the outside, but that translates into really big interior space. And it's based on the van version of the Berlingo, obviously. So you get a lot of practicalities in here, like these overhead storage cubbies, and there's lots of other storage solutions here actually. You get one on the dashboard, you've a cup holder up here nice and high, it's very useful. Lots of little alcoves here for all your bits and pieces. Isn't quite the latest technology though. You notice that the USB port here, for instance, is USB-A, so that's old hat these days. And on top of that, there's just a 12-volt socket down here. So there's no wireless charging pad either. So it's not all of the niceties, but there is, you know, a responsive enough touchscreen in the middle here, and dual zone climate control, and really most other things that you need. Back to the space. From the driver's point of view, you sit fairly upright, which gives you a great view out, great view in all directions, and actually there's a lot of adjustment in the seat and in the steering wheel. So in and out, up and down. I'm about 5'8", and you know, there's loads of legroom here. I can push it way back outside my own needs. As you can see, there's endless headroom. So no matter how tall you are, you're going to fit in here. And actually, there's quite a bit of width here as well. So between the seats, there's, you know, a good foot of space, which makes you feel a bit more spacious, a bit more comfortable. A useful practical feature of this e-Berlingo and all Berlingos is, of course, sliding rear doors. Great for getting out, in and out of car parks. Great for putting kids into the back. Just generally very useful. Now, the back is actually well worth looking at. There's loads of room back here. 3 adults can sit across here fairly easily. There's enough legroom. Even I'm sitting in the middle position here, so the floor is almost flat. It's not completely flat, but look at all this headroom. Doesn't matter how tall you are. And in fact, if you're in the central seat, you can probably stretch your legs out here in the middle because there's a through-way there. Other than that, the seats themselves don't adjust, but for parents, they'll be glad to see there are ISOFIX points in each of the 3 seats, so you could conceivably have 3 different child seats all connected by ISOFIX to this car. It's not very many cars full stop on the market that have that, never mind electric ones. Very useful, very practical. You've got great visibility out, and you got electric windows here on the sides, so people are well catered for back here. Last thing, your picnic tables. Kids love those. When I started testing this car first, and I parked it up to use the boot, I thought, oh, you really have to be careful where you park. Look how long this tailgate is. I mean, it's great for a rain shelter if you want to sit and have a picnic, but for a family parking up in the car park, great having the sliding side doors and not bashing off other cars. But then you realise that you need all the space behind the car. Then I discovered something else about it. Press this button here, and just the glass pops open. Much more useful. Put in all your shopping, put in your bags there. It's quite a wide space. I think once people discover that, they'll use that most of the time. I mentioned a minute ago that the 3 seats don't adjust for seating position, but they do fold almost completely flat, which is really useful. And basically you're turning this e-Berlingo passenger car back into a van, so you can put anything in there you want. Depending on which vehicle you're coming from, one of the first things you'll notice about the e-Berlingo, even before we've left the dealer forecourt, is just how light the controls are. There's no sensation of anything from the steering wheel and from the brakes in particular. They're really light. Now, that's perhaps something to get used to in terms of whether you're used to feedback from controls in a car, but the flip side of it is, if you're at the wheel for a long time, it doesn't tire you out. It's all light, very easy. I noticed as well actually then if you put the brake regeneration into the B mode, which is enhanced brake energy regeneration, and what that means is when you take your foot off the accelerator, immediately the car is slowed down by the motor generator. So it turns into generator mode and it puts energy back into the battery. When you press B, it enhances that effect. And that's all very well and good, and is actually a more efficient way to drive, certainly around town at lower speeds and stop-start traffic. But I found it gives the brake pedal an unusual sensation that perhaps takes a bit longer to get used to, and I preferred not having the B mode on. Other than that, there are 3 different drive modes actually, just this little selector here. There's power, normal and eco. The car starts up in normal all the time, and to be honest, I found I just end up leaving it in that setting the whole time. It does everything well, it's responsive enough. As I mentioned, it's got 136 horsepower. Without people in the car, that's absolutely plenty. Perhaps if you have the car full of people, full of luggage, you might want the power mode. All that means is that you get a bit quicker response. You don't get more power, it's just quicker response to accelerator inputs. The eco mode then obviously is when you want to maximize the range between charges. It dulls the throttle response a little bit, it reduces the amount of air conditioning, and it ekes out every kilometre it can. Even though Citroen quotes an official range of 280 kilometres between charges, we found that it'll do better than that, which is kind of unusual these days. Admittedly, all our testing was done in fairly warm weather, but we have the air conditioning running. And again, we don't have the car loaded up with people and luggage, so just for a driver. But even so, it's averaging between 18 and 19 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres, which is a little bit less, a little bit better than the official efficiency figures, which is pretty encouraging. It does mean that, you know, perhaps it will do a reliable 250 kilometres perhaps, maybe even on a bit of motorway driving. And that's useful. I mean, that'll cover plenty of people's normal driving use. Out on the open road, it copes pretty well actually. It's quite refined. It's not a luxury car, but neither does it feel like a commercial vehicle underneath. You can't hide the van roots, but it doesn't boom. There's not this booming sensation from the back, certainly not at normal speeds. Ride comfort is pretty decent, and it goes very pointed really. That's all you want from a car like this. The turning circle is notably good. And that's quite desirable in a car like this. I mean, this is a big vehicle, so you want to make life easier for yourself when it comes to manoeuvring, when it comes to parking, and things like the reversing camera, the parking sensors, decent visibility all around, and a really good turning circle. These are all great additions. These all make life driving a big vehicle like this in an urban environment easier. If you'd like to know more about Citroen e-Berlingo, head along to our website. It's CompleteCar.ie and it's linked in the description below. Now, that website as well is also a great resource when you're researching your next new car.